The first ever chase for the Challenger Cup rolls on as we reach a stop in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Tonight, it's 100 laps, 200 miles at the Michigan International Speedway for the Challenger Cup Series, live tonight on PGR eSports. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the virtual Michigan International Speedway in virtual Brooklyn, Michigan. My name is Dawson Weiss. Happy to have you along with me for the ride tonight. Race 2 of the Season 1 2026 Chase for the Challenger Cup has brought us to Michigan. This chase is all over the place in terms of race disciplines tonight. Sure to be no different with a Michigan that is just a little bit different than perhaps the last time that we came here. And case in point, the pole time right now, a 37.5, which is notably faster than the last time we came to this facility last year in the official sessions. Qualifying's about to wrap up. It's about time to meet the starters for tonight's race from Michigan. But happy to have you with us and along the way here tonight. Ryan Patti enters as the points leader. In fact, has a sizable over 20-point lead above the rest of the field. We'll keep an eye on Ryan tonight. He is fastest in qualifying, likely to get the pole here for tonight's race at Michigan as well. So it's possible Ryan Patti could very well cement himself as a huge points leader, leaving Michigan headed on from here in the last 3 races of the season coming up. It's time to head down trackside and get down to the grid and meet the starters for tonight's race from Michigan in the Challenger Cup Series. Again, happy to have you along with us. This is PGR eSports coverage of the Challenger Cup Series. Let's get down to business in the Irish Hills, and it starts by meeting the starters for 100 laps and 200 miles tonight from Michigan. On the pole by virtue of his quick time, it's the points leader and the man who comes into tonight as the championship favorite. Ryan Patti in the Fast House Chevy starts from position number 1. On the grid alongside him, it's the Hurricane Harold Watkins, who go from position 2, and these two will duel once again tonight in Michigan. Row 2, Cody Eltridge starts third. A great effort for him tonight as he tries to keep up with Ryan Patti and make himself a championship force potentially. Rusty Modesty will start alongside him from the 4th position. Row 3 going to be James Catrone. He was fastest in practice just a moment ago. Keeping on the Oscar Mayer Chevy, and Kevin Gunther, the Bristol winner, starts alongside him in 6th. Row 4, it's the rookie Clinton Woodby. The incredible rookie campaign continues for the 92 QH Design machine. It still roll from 7th tonight in Michigan. And alongside him, a new look, orange, silver, and black for Harold Rothery tonight, and that newly rebranded number 1 Monster Energy aboard that car. He'll start from the 8th spot. Back on row 5, it's Jimmy Fitzmaurice and the Genesee Chevrolet. He'll return tonight and start 9th. It's Andrew Little in the water for Concept Chevy, a Michigan native that starts from position number 10. Greg Bourbonier starts from 11th tonight in the Miller Lite Camry. Alongside him, the High Rock Chevy of Brandon Beauchamp. He'll start from 12th. Row 7, Fisher Graham, second career start tonight for Fisher. Starting from 13th, it's Brian Cunningham that will roll from the 14th position. And then a few cars that did not get a qualifying time on the board. Matt Hayden will start from 15th in the Oakley Chevrolet. Ron Walters from 16th in the Whitewater Ford Mustang. And then one more row on the field, it's going to be Stephen Rasick on the inside of row number 9, alongside the 75 of Mike Martino. It's about time to get things underway tonight from Michigan. Again, 100 laps total on the board, 25 in this opening stage. So happy to have you along for the journey tonight as the chase for the Challenger Cup continues on with a stop in Michigan. Again, Patti leaves as a double-digit point leader coming into Michigan. Rather, he left last week in Nashville as a double-digit point leader coming into Michigan International Speedway tonight. Had just enough fuel to make a victory last week. The points could have been a lot different if Patti had not stretched the fuel tank last week in Music City. Comes into the Irish Hills tonight again with an over 20-point lead above the rest of the field, but still has to continue to execute 4 races to go in the chase as he searches for his first Challenger Cup Series title in 2026. Of course, win number 7 coming last week at Nashville. He's looking to make it 8 tonight in virtual Brooklyn, Michigan. A style of racing that suits him well. Tire management is a key tonight. Manage your equipment, manage the track temp, make sure you're in position, manage a potentially new draft model as well. Again, hearing that the model may be a little bit different coming into tonight than what we're used to. it's potential these guys could be going off into the corner a lot faster than we're used to here at Michigan. Not a lot of off-throttle time, very high speeds, momentum-based track, and saving tires is key. The chase for the Challenger Cup brings us to Michigan International Speedway, the second stop of 5 in the postseason for this first of 2 seasons in 2026. Green flag will go in the air. We're underway from the Irish Hills. Patti off and running with the lead. He leads lap 1. Watkins in his tire tracks. Rusty Modesty got by Eldred on the opening lap. Andrew Little is +3 already in his home turf from 10th to 7th. The driver of the 68, biggest mover so far. Steven Rasick is +2 a little bit further back in the field. Matt Hayden had to pit start. He is already a couple of laps down to the race leaders. We'll keep an eye on Matt Hayden and his progress. He'll need a little bit of a miracle to get back into the contention for the win. Off turn 4, Patti by 5 car lengths over the remainder of the field, and something that I really want to keep an eye on as we go throughout the night tonight is the speed going into turn 1. 204 miles an hour for Ryan Patti as the field works back into turn 1, and look at the speed when he picks up the throttle. Almost 180 miles an hour. This is a much faster racetrack than it was back in 2025 when the series came to the Irish Hills of Michigan. So expect a little bit different racing, a lot more wide open. Momentum a big thing, but tire management so much more important, knowing that the field is going to have to save a little bit of tire tonight as well. Rather, they're going to be putting so much more load on those right side tires that it's going to become imperative that the guy who saves tire the best is going to likely win this race. Patti continues to lead lap 4 already on the board. Again, they're running in the draft 37.7s, which again is absurd to even wrap my head around that we're running that fast in this next-gen car. Again, back on Sunday when the NASCAR Cup Series came to Michigan, they were not running quite this fast. They were running about 190 to 195 off into turn 1, 204 tonight in this series to this point. Modesty's been knocking on the door for second on Harold Watkins. Cody Eldred has worked into this battle as well. Andrew Little is now +4 from where he started, 10th to 6th for the Waterford Chevrolet. He is just behind Kevin Gunther right there, the black, green, and yellow Chevy right in the center of your screen. Patti by a car length back to turn 1. Watkins in his tire tracks. Modesty is the first to venture a couple lanes up the racetrack, and he's trying to pay it off with good exit speed, but Watkins is able to turn the center of the corner and slam the door back shut in Modesty's face. James Catrone is on the backslide, -2. Clinton Woodby is -3. By the way, one of the top 4 in points coming into tonight, David Traylor, was not able to make it into the session, is not on track, and thus it's likely that his hopes for a title are dashed tonight in Michigan. What a tough ending to his season, what has been a phenomenal rookie campaign. He was not able to make it to the green flag tonight. Unfortunately, we'll have to try to rebound when we get into the last 3 races of this postseason. Patti continuing to lead, but Modesty is knocking at the door on Watkins now for the second spot. Rusty Modesty's got a sporty Sinclair Toyota early in this one. As Catrone loses another spot, he's going to lose the 7th spot to Harold Rothery as well. By the way, Matt Hayden is not 2 laps down. The scoring did say he was 2 laps down. He is a ways behind the leaders, but he is on the lead lap. So Matt Hayden, as long as he can hang on for the end of Stage 1, is going to be back on the lead lap when we get to lap 25. So Matt Hayden is not quite in as much of a hole as I thought initially. 5-car breakaway up front back to Kevin Gunther. It's Ryan Patti by 4 car lengths over Watkins, Modesty, Eldred, and the aforementioned Gunther. Although Andrew Little is starting to close up the gap just a little bit. He's on par with the times of the leaders right now. Actually, Harold Rothery was the fastest car in virtual Brooklyn, Michigan last time by a 37.79, his best lap of the race. Last time by for Harold Rothery, so he's finding a little bit of mid-run speed. As we reach lap 8 at the line, again, this draft conga line continues. Top 5, really top 7, really the entire field has some form of draft right here at the line. Taking a look at lap times. everything kind of evens back out there. Watkins about a tenth faster than the leader, but not making any efforts to really get by him at this point in time. Again, as he continues to try to fend off Rusty Modesty for the second spot. So battle continues to be right now for second. Patti continues to lead the way, at least for the time being, with a few cars in his tire tracks. Watkins searches for some grip there, about to lean off the bottom there. As they work back towards turn one, Patti again, he'll bring the field down right here. He's trying to break the toe, but obviously everybody's going to follow him down. It's not a super violent move, not a snappy move to the bottom. It's just a gradual. He's going to pull down. He's going to make that second car follow him down and try to keep on the draft toe that is out the back of his number 30 Chevrolet at the front of the field. Modesty's fallen off by about 5 car lengths. Watkins continues to run nose to tail with the leader. Eldred now attacks Modesty. That could be for third as Andrew Little closes in on all of them. Andrew Little's got some pace here, folks. Again, not yet a winner in 2026 is Andrew Little. After winning a couple of races last year, both in Bristol and Martinsville, Andrew Little looking to go back to victory lane, and what better place to do it than his hometown track in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Back to the line, lap 10 on the board. Again, only going 100 tonight, half the cup race distance, only going to 25 here in the opening stage. As Patti opens up about a 4-car length lead now. So Watkins was within about a car length, maybe a half. See Patti right there pulled down to break the draft. In doing so, it actually, Watkins is able to carry more of his momentum on corner entry. Yeah, it breaks the draft. But Watkins had a decent amount of momentum there on corner entry that he was able to carry. So far, Dirty Air does not appear to be playing as much of a factor as it does at other racetracks, namely last week at Nashville Superspeedway. Tonight, at least so far, it's not really affecting the top guys. They are still trying to poke headlights out and run different lines, but continues to not really affect those guys all that much. Further back for fifth, Gunther on the outside, Little on the inside, shot for fifth right there into turn one. It did not work. He'll have to file back into line, but he has caught these next 3 cars in line. Andrew Little, a sneaky fast car tonight so far. His lap time's on par with the leaders. About 400s off Ryan Patti last time. This will be a little bit slower because he did lose a little bit of time trying to battle with Kevin Gunther. Up front, Patti is all the way to the apron trying to break the draft of Harold Watkins. 14 to go stage 1. Field has completely spread out, by the way. Not a ton going on out behind the leaders. Clinton Woodby has recovered just a little bit. It was not the start that he wanted. He dropped as far back as 10th. He now has run a better lap than the leader last time by, has Clinton Woodby. So he's gotten on his horse just a little bit in the mid to late stages of stage 1. Right at the mid stages is the halfway point in the stage right here at the line. Top 2 have broken away by now 9 car lengths over Rusty Modesty, then Eldred, then Gunther, and then Little. And then it goes back to Rothery, Woodby, Fitzmaurice, Catrone, the rest of the top 10. +4 for Andrew Little, +2 for Ron Walters, up to 14th. Biggest backslide so far is Catrone, -5, which is surprising to me. Fastest lap in practice just a little while ago. He has backslid to 10th as they run right now. Watkins right to the back bumper of Ryan Patti, a potential change for the lead here. And this is going to be what we expect tonight. The draft is so strong in this car at this racetrack that it will likely be somewhat impossible without pit strategy or good tire management for a guy to truly drive away from the car behind him. In this case, Patti unable to shake Harold Watkins in the early stages of this race. 12 to go stage 1. Modesty continues to run third again. Eldred, Gunther, Little behind him, and Andrew Little continues to try to find a way around Kevin Gunther. He's lost a little bit more time now. Starts following the clutches of Rothery, and Clinton Woodby back behind him. Back to turn 3. Patti down at the bottom. Harold Watkins tried to run that second lane. Had to lift a little bit, perhaps in some dirty air. Had to lift just a little bit on the back bumper of Patti, but again, Patti will not be able to get away here. You see down the straightaway, watch the timing and scoring. Watkins is able to break even and then pull a little bit on the entry to the corner because of that strong draft toe. So he's able to stay right in the tire tracks of Ryan Patti and stay close enough that this battle can be competitive in a moment. Although Watkins washes up towards the wall, had to lift big, and now will lose 3, 4, 5 more car lengths as they work down the backstretch towards turn 3. Modesty and Eldred start to catch up to him. As he loses a little bit of time now, he's going to venture up the racetrack and look for a little bit of speed. And he found some. How about it? A little bit of delta there for Harold Watkins, so he may have found something there. As Eldred shoots on Modesty, that was for third. When I say shoots, I mean he kind of tries to make a move. Again, it's very momentum-based here at Michigan, so you have to time up your moves and make sure you're making the right move. If you lose momentum in the middle of the corner and have to lift and have to get out of it to keep from getting into the guy above you, you're going to lose a ton of time on the racetrack. Watkins way up the track now in turns 3 and 4. It may have been a little too close to the sun, but maybe not. He gained some delta here off turn 4, so maybe Watkins has something. That was a little bit higher than I would run. Again, it used to be at Michigan, and may still be this way in a couple of the cars on the surface, that you could run anywhere you wanted to. You could even run the wall. And on old tires, in fact, the wall was beneficial. It was really good on old tires to keep the momentum up, keep your foot in the throttle longer than if you tried to run down on the yellow paint down on the bottom, which is what Ryan Patti's been doing most of this run, is getting down towards that bottom lane, which again in this car, you can basically run anywhere you want to. Watkins has been now running a lane, 2 lanes, 3 lanes higher, and it's actually benefiting him. No dirty air, more exit speed and momentum. Again, it's the load on the right side tires, and the wear factor comes into play. It's going to be more and more beneficial to work up the racetrack. Try to get higher, get a little bit more exit speed, arc that car down off the corner. Watkins going to gain a little bit more here on exit. He's coming. Modesty's on the way. Eldred's on the way. By the way, Andrew Little has caught Kevin Gunther for 5th. He'll try to fire for 1 stage point here with just 8 to go in stage 1. Patti down towards the paint. Half lane off the bottom. Watkins works 3 lanes up the racetrack. He'll have a big drive off and be within 2 to 2.5 car lengths to the leader. 7 laps to go. Patti's going to have to earn it. Here comes Harold Watkins to a car length and a half, to a car length back, to almost half a car length back on entry. And able to beat him on entry big time, 3, 4, 500ths of a second at a time. But Watkins has been so much better on exit, and it's about the opposite of what we've come to expect with Harold Watkins. Watkins so good on entry and center of the corner most of these intermediates that we go to. Tonight it's been the opposite. He's been better on the exit side of the corner as Patti has to give up a little bit from driving in deep, and Watkins from backing up the corner and using a different line can get a little bit better exit speed and drive right up to Ryan Patti's machine. Eldred continues to try to help out Rusty Modesty as Gunther trails both of them, and Andrew Little trails right behind him. Back to turn 1, 6 to go. This time, Patti up the speedway to try to aero block and break even, and he does. Watkins gets into dirty air, has to lift, and we'll break even there off turn 2. Patti down to break the draft again. This is going to help Watkins just a little bit. He's able to carry that momentum in a straight line. This time Patti down to the paint. Watkins went lower than he has been so far, but Patti now has to lift as he works up the racetrack. So a big lift there for Ryan Patti off the exit of turn 4. 5 out the flag stand in stage 1. 5 laps to go. 21 already on the board as Gunther catches Eldred. That's for 4th. Kevin Gunther, the Bristol winner, to the inside as Watkins takes a shot on Patti in turn 1. All the way to the bottom, drives right to the left rear quarter panel. Can't quite get to the tail light there of Ryan Patti, but gets awfully close. A really good 1 and 2 there for Harold Watkins. He'll likely move back to the top. Eldred shoots on Modesty for 3rd. So in all that, Gunther actually is going to be under attack from Andrew Little. Works way up the racetrack, too high. Goes Kevin Gunther to the fence. Eldred underneath. Modesty will clear up. Slide job on the exit of turn 4. Modesty tries to cross over. Can't do it. Move Eldred to 3rd. Up front for the lead. Watkins took a shot to the bottom side. Patti said no, sir. Watkins back to the left. They go back and forth down the front straightaway. Which one's going to go where? Fire at the pipes from Patti as he got the brakes there into turn 1. And Watkins again will use about a lane to a lane and a half higher up the racetrack to drive right to Patti. Patti defensive line. He goes to the bottom. Watkins commits to the top back to turn 3. 4 to go in the stage. Watkins tried to drive to the bottom and Patti said, I know what you were going to do. I know the playbook. He drives down to the bottom instead. Watkins can't stick it off turn 4 and now drops to about 4 car lengths back. Eldred is catching these two, by the way. Potential for a 3-car battle for the stage win, maybe 4, maybe 6 by the time all's said and done. 3 to go, stage 1. Patti got a lot right there in 3 and 4. This time, Watkins, can he stick it? No, he had to lift huge right there off turn 2. He is still going to get a little bit of momentum. Man, Patti, he lost a ton of time right there. Watkins drove in a little bit too deep. He may have one more look at it here before we get done with stage number 1. By the way, Gunther used that rail run, got inside of Rusty Modesty, trying to slide up, can't do it. Modesty's going to stay alongside and actually maintain that position for now. 2 to go, stage 1. Eldred again continues to catch these two, so potential that he might get there, but these two would probably have to race each other, and I'm just not sure that's in the cards here. Watkins drives deep to turn 1, does get the headlight out to the left, so he will gain a little bit here, but he'll have to lift. And those right side tires struggling a little bit as Watkins worked up the racetrack earlier in this opening run. Eldred is on the best tires, it seems, of anybody right now, so he has caught Watkins in a hurry. Watkins and Patti both dry to the bottom. Uninhibited drive off turn 4 for Eldred right here, and he can make this very interesting on the final lap of this second stage. He gets a big drive up to Harold Watkins. Watkins will have to defend. Where does Eldred go here in the entry of 1? Trailing. No move yet to turn 1. May try to help Watkins get there, perhaps, to try to win the stage. Now Watkins, 4th lane up the racetrack, as high as we've seen that Hurricane machine so far in this race. Almost got in the marbles. Instead, gets a really nice drive off turn 2 and will hold off Eldred for the time being. Gunther got to 4th ahead of Modesty. That battle is done and over with. Back to turn 3 for the final time in stage number 1. Watkins up to the fence. He goes 4 lanes up the racetrack into Kevin Gunther territory. He'll get a good drive off, but it will not be enough. Wire to wire, Patti leads all 25 and wins the stage, but this is going to be a competitive one tonight. It's Patti over Watkins, Eldred, Gunther, and Modesty. The stage points at the line, and the caution flag will be displayed. We go to our one and only planned yellow flag of the night. Clean, green, 25-lap run to start the night's proceedings. And again, if this thing gets into a late race run, this race is going to be very competitive. The draft is not allowing the leader to get away from the field very much. Now, in a long tire run, that may change, but for the time being, how exciting is this one going to be? We're going to take our one and only planned break of the evening. We'll step aside for just a moment. You will not miss a thing. We'll be right back. We'll be right back from Michigan for the conclusion from the Irish Hills. You're watching PGR eSports coverage with the chase for the Challenger Cup. We'll be back after this.
Green flag is in the air. We are racing. Three by three. Almost no trouble. Around goes Alex Hill. On into the outside wall goes Hill. They're wrecking big time out back. We're not going to throw a caution. Finish. Who gets it in the line? Cody Nagels wins it in Talladega.
Have created our own drink company. The fastest growing sports drink in history.
We will run! We will run! Ladies and gentlemen, look,
The monkey has prime!
this season we are hydrated.
The official sports drink of the UFC. It's on! Oh, that's good.
I played a couple of simulators and this was like very responsive, especially the hydraulics and stuff, the motion and stuff was really, really on point.
But you feel like you're really driving, it feels real.
It adds so much to the experience. It's just really, really cool.
It was pretty awesome.
Welcome back to Virtual Michigan International Speedway. This is race 16 of season 1 of 2026, the Challenger Cup Series, race 2. The first chase for the Challenger Cup here in 2026. My name is Dawson Weiss. Happy to have you with me as we are just out of stage 1 and now set to go for about 70 laps to the end of tonight's scheduled distance of lap 100. If you missed the opening stage, 25 laps clean and green, no incidents there. And now we will reset for stage 2. If you caught it there in the ad break, a pit road penalty for the pole sitter Ryan Patti and the points leader coming into tonight. He'll restart back in the 17th position now and have some work to be done on this restart. And with how clean that run got, how spread out the pack got, the work is now cut out for Ryan Patti to race back to the front, get back in contention to win this thing, and leave with an even bigger points lead. That'll reset the order as such. Harold Watkins, Cody Eldred on row 1, Andrew Little, Kevin Gunther on row 2, James Catrone, Rusty Modesty back on row 3. Rest of the top 10 would be Fitzmaurice, Cunningham, and Bourbonier. Just short of 30 laps complete. 71 to go at Michigan. Green flag in the air, and Watkins is off and running. And again, the eyes now shift to Ryan Patti and how quickly he's able to make work of the field around him. Mike Martino's on pit road. Here's the stage. Gets back underway. Watkins big lead here to turn 1. Little forward to second. The Michigan native flexing muscle in the Irish Hills as he wants a shot at the lead here from Watkins. Off turn 2, almost a couple of cars around towards the back. That was around the Bourbonier, would-be Fitzmaurice, Rodri area. But he gets through it okay. Patti already up 3 spots in car number 30. The mission is on for him, up to 13th now. 4 spots difference for him at the line. 70 laps to go. 31 goes on the board. Watkins continuing to lead the way. Little Eldred, Gunther, Modesty, your top 5. Matt Hayden enters the top 10 for the first time tonight. First time we've seen the Oakley Chevy as he got his track position back under that caution flag for the stage. Little under attack. Eldred on the bottom. Cody Eldred still looking for win number 1 of his Challenger Cup Series career. Could it come tonight at Michigan and be a breakthrough moment in a potential championship run? Driver that black, yellow, and camo 14. Gunther to the wall early in the run. By the way, Ryan Patti continues to stay stalled in the 13th position right now. We continue to watch the blossoming battle for the lead. Harold Watkins is the leader as of right now. Another Michigan native. So a pair leading the field now. Watkins and Little. Watkins from Kalamazoo. Little from Waterford. Big loose moment there for Little off turn 2, though. As Eldred gets alongside him for second. Rusty Modesty's in the party now. Eldred going to try to throw the slider, run right in the middle of the racetrack. Can't do it. Meanwhile, Ryan Patti now up to 12. And hunting down Harold Rodri. Big rim run there for Little as he gets back around Eldred. The battling's for second. And Harold Watkins says, thank you very much. I'm going to take some time and drive away. 68 laps to go at the line. Again, we've seen the leader not able to drive away for very long. Eldred will shoot again here into turn 1, trying to get second from Andrew Little as Gunther fires on Modesty. That's for 4th, right behind those guys. Ryan Patti still continues to run 12th. Quick look back at him. He has caught the Rodri and would-be battle for 10th. Matt Hayden's on the move. He's up tonight. Patti, where does he go? Through the center goes the points leader. How about this? We picked him up in the perfect time. He's in the middle of those 2 cars off turn 4 as he tries to get 2 for 1. He'll get 1 here on would-be. He'll clear him. He'll have to file in line with Rodri, and I imagine he'll take a shot here to turn 1. Trying to make quick work of all of these cars. Down to turn 1. Big arcing move to the inside for Ryan Patti. Keep a set of eyes up front. Andrew Little has pulled away just a little bit from the Eldred, and Modesty now battle for 3rd. And he has to keep it off Rodri there off turn 2. It's the fight for 10th with 67 to go. He's 2 seconds behind the leader, but he also burns a lot of the right side tire, driving as hard as he has to get back to the front. Down to the paint is Ryan Patti, as low as we've seen anybody run all night. A ton of side drafting there. He's trying to get to the left rear of Rodri and side draft and pull him backwards. It's just not working right now for him. Another deep drive. Into turn 1. Again, he just cannot get alongside the Rodri machine. Now to file in line again. Back up front because the battle for the lead starts to take shape again. Battle for second does as well as Cody Eldred's putting a lot of pressure on Andrew Little right now. You would think the smart play would be to help each other get to Harold Watkins, then battle for the lead. But Eldred wants second desperately here back to turn one. Little up the racetrack that time. Third lane for him. He'll lose some here. Entrance in center of the corner. Now Harold Watkins flexing some muscle center of the corner. But Little gets a nice drive off and will be within 0.2 of a second by the time they reach turn 3 again. The line 64 to go. Just 14 laps from the halfway mark. This time it's Little in the tire tracks of Watkins, and it's Eldred up the speedway. Oh, Andrew Little had a really good turns 3 and 4. He poked the headlight out. It's going to get awfully close here within about a car length and a half. Eldred only a car length off his bumper. 3-car battle for the race lead in Michigan with 64 to go. Odyssey tries to hold off Gunther, Catrone, and Fitzmaurice. Hayden just got 8th from Bourbonnais. That's over in turn 1. Patti finally did get by Rothery, or did he? I'll look back at those two as again they duked it out, and again Patti continues to be stuck. And he's only 2 seconds off the pace. Again, very draft-reliant track tonight in Michigan. It's going to mean that Ryan Patti does not fall too far off the pace being stuck with a Rothery machine. This time he may get him. Oh, he turned him! Patti turns Rothery and spins back up the racetrack. Patti across the field, cautions out, and he's going to get plowed by Ron Walters. Late in that incident, Walters comes in, gets a piece of Patti, and it does not appear to be major damage, but damage nonetheless for the points leader. We saw this one unfolding on our screen. In fact, it may be major damage for Ryan Patti. Well, it looked like maybe, oh yeah, some serious steering issues for Patti. He's going to likely require the use of the one and only fast repair, so another setback for the Patti machine as he will have to bring that car down pit road shortly. Oh, trouble. Rothery got around again over off turn 2. As those two came together in an incident that we kind of saw start, so we'll only take a couple looks at this, but Patti's going to turn up to side draft. He's coming up, coming up, coming up. I think Rothery's actually going to get the wall and have to try to pull that car off the safer barrier, and when he does that, they meet in the center. Again, Ryan Patti's seeing him move up just a little bit. He's moving up to try to grab a side draft. They come together, and Rothery spins to the grass. Patti comes back up. Man, narrow misses for Woodby and Beauchamp. Patti nails the outside wall, but that's not the big hit that deals the suspension damage. That's going to come from Ron Walters. Fisher Graham splits the uprights there. Rasick is able to get to the outside, and Walters committed to the bottom, but Patti's car rolls down the banking and catches Walters. And that's a considerable hit for both of those cars. So both going to have to come get major damage repaired or utilize the one fast repair, which I know these guys don't want to do this early in the race. We'll go to the drone cam here off turn 4. And again, kind of show you what I mean. So watch here. Rothery's going to get the wall right there. Patti's still coming up, and Rothery's just out of room. He got the wall. Had to try to pull off of it as Patti pulls up to try to side draft. And in comes Ron Walters. Man, that is a considerable hit. Walters actually got pit road, so likely a penalty for him. Brian Cunningham bailed to the pit lane as well. Damage to the points leader. Damage to Ron Walters. Damage to Harold Rothery has shaken this race up a ton as we enter the second caution period of the night, the first for incident on lap 40. Watkins, Hayden, and Fisher Graham stay out. Cody Eldred on back have come to pit road to deal with damage, take a set of tires, get reset for another run with this, the second caution of the night. So again, Harold Watkins opts to stay out there and lead some more laps. Matt Hayden going to take the track position and move up to the front of the field. So Matt Hayden going to get in the fray for the first time. Fisher Graham, same thing from the third spot, and then Eldred is able to win the race off pit road. Watkins continuing to lead. Let's reset the field for you as we reach the 1 to go signal, this time by, we'll go back green on lap 42 with just 59 laps to go in this race. It'll be Harold Watkins, Matt Hayden, Fisher Graham. The cars that stayed out, they'll be 1, 2, and 3. Cody Eldred and Rusty Modesty round out the top 5. James Catrone runs 6th. Kevin Gunther runs 7th. Andrew Little runs 8th. Greg Bourbonier is 9th. Clinton Woodby is 10th. And then cars that came down to either deal with damage again or take an extended pit stop. Brandon Beauchamp's 11th. Ryan Patti will restart 12th. Stephen Rasick 13th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice 14th. Ron Walters 15th. Harold Rothery is 16th. Brian Cunningham is 1 lap down to the leaders in the 17th spot. Mike Martino is now, I believe, 2 laps down. Or no, he is still 1 lap down, but he sits in his pit box as of right now. Watkins elects the inside lane for this, the second caution flag of the night, so he'll start from the bottom side. Damaged car, Fisher Graham. He does have some right front damage on that 13 machine. He'll restart 3rd, but he does have that front end damage. We'll see how that affects him right here. Matt Hayden's first trip to the front. Again, had to pit start in this race. Had to get some time back, some track position back on the opening stage caution, and now has an opportunity to restart outside of the front row. Trying to get to victory lane for the first time since October of last year at Talladega. Watkins has won a couple of times this year. Hayden has yet to win. Fisher Graham, Cody Eldred have both yet to win. Modesty has not won since last July. Catrone still looking for his first win, so a number of drivers in position for a big-time win tonight. Green flag back in the air. Big stack up back around Ryan Patti and company. Everybody navigates it okay, and back we go towards turn 1. Watkins leads. Hayden files in second. And from there, it's game on. Fisher Graham's already lost 3, 4 spots here in turn 1 as he is going the wrong way in a hurry. Hayden right to the back bumper of Watkins. He wants a trip to the lead. Fisher Graham almost bouncing off cars back there around the Kevin Gunther and Greg Bourbonier machines. That's 3 wide with those 3 cars. Is this going to work out? Oh, man, Ryan Patti, who, by the way, profits 4 spots on that restart. Almost gets into a couple of cars there, including Rusty Modesty. Man, Graham is getting bounced around back there. Did it work out? No, it did not. Graham's around. And I wondered when he got 3 wide with Fitzmaurice and Cunningham. He does make the save, but it'll draw the caution for the 3rd time tonight. This is coming off turn 4. I saw this collision about to happen. Graham into Cunningham. Cunningham works him up the racetrack. Nowhere for Jimmy Fitzmaurice to go. And around went Fisher Graham. To draw the 3rd caution flag of the night. Again, contact right here. Graham up the racetrack. Cunningham goes with him. And then again, if you're Jimmy Fitzmaurice, it's helpless there as Graham comes across his nose, gets turned. Deals damage to both cars. Graham does a good job to get back underneath them. And it only collects 3 total cars in the 3rd caution of the night. So Watkins continues to run up front. Don't anticipate anybody to be on pit road here. Everybody was just on pit road, save for Watkins, Eldred, and Watkins, Hayden, and Graham just a moment ago. So don't anticipate that anyone will come to pit road. And I lied because here comes Harold Watkins. No, a fake out. And I lied anyway because here comes a number of drivers further back in the field. Andrew Little, James Catrone, Clinton Woodby, Ryan Patti, Stephen Rasick, Kevin Gunther, Fisher Graham, Jimmy Fitzmaurice, Ron Walters, Harold Rothery will all come to pit road here. 6 cars stayed out. Watkins, Hayden, Eldred, Modesty, Bourbonier, and Beauchamp. They'll lead the field back to green in a couple laps' time. Looking around the world of, looking around the world of racing this week, or rather around the world of sports this week, shall we say. As we get ready to go back green here in about a lap and a half's time. This weekend, the National Series head to Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, for a trip The Pocono Mountains. That is this weekend for a trip to San Diego. That brand new course. By the way, it was released on the iRacing service today as part of the Season 3 build. So San Diego coming up. We'll see if it's featured here on Tuesday nights. I'm not sure yet if we're going to go there, if we're going to stick with the originally scheduled date at Twin Ring Motegi. We will wait and see over the next couple of weeks if we do decide to make the trip to San Diego in the Challenger Cup Series. I don't know if we'll go back-to-back road courses. That would put us going to San Diego and Sonoma back-to-back weeks. We'll see if that is what the league decides to do. But as where NASCAR is this week, of course, high limit racing a few times this week, including tonight the Eagle Nationals for $55,000 to win. A lot of the other dirt series going racing this week as well. Of course, the Stanley Cup Finals on tonight. The NBA Finals or last night. Knicks Spurs. Spurs take Game 3. That's a 2-1 series. Carolina leads Vegas 3-1 after one period in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's Game 4 in Vegas. Vegas leads that series 2-1. Around the world of sports. Also in the world of racing, and close to home for me, the NHRA takes a trip to Thunder Valley this week. The NHRA's Thunder Valley Nationals come to my home turf up in East Tennessee. A trip to the Bristol Motor Speedway and the Bristol Dragway. So fun stuff coming up this weekend. As the Valley roars to life again, this time with the NHRA. So a number of fun things going on in sports, but here business to be attended to at Michigan. Third caution's cleaned up. Running order is pretty similar to what it was a moment ago. Watkins, Hayden, Eldred, Modesty, then Bourbonnier, then Beauchamp. Then the cars that came to pit road that time, Little, Catrone, Patti would be on back through the rest of the field. Let's try this again. Lap 46 going to go on the board. 55 to go, just 5 laps from halfway here at the Michigan International Speedway. Watkins brings us to the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Another stack up in both lanes. Everybody gets going, though. And they work back to turn 1. Now all eyes go again back towards that Ryan Patti neighborhood. He's back up to 7th. And trying to shoot for more here. Down into turn 1 they go. Patti to the inside of Andrew Little. He'll try to also get Bourbonnier. He's going to actually look 3 wide on both cars here off turn 2. It did not work. He'll have to fade in line 7th. And now Beauchamp with a shot to the inside of him. You see what the momentum loss does for Patti back there on the 7th spot. Watkins gets away with the lead. Hayden under attack from Cody Eldred, who continues to be impressive. Tonight in the early goings at Michigan, Eldred off turn 4 has to lift out of the binders just a little bit there, but will shoot underneath Matt Hayden and try for second back here at turn 1. 4 to go. Modesty right in their tire tracks. Then it's Andrew Little. And then it's Beauchamp and Bourbonnier as Ryan Patti continues to be stuck now in the 8th position. Modesty got the wall right there. Patti trying to take advantage of a couple of guys out back battling as he tries to continue to work his way to the front. Little to the inside of Modesty. That's for 4th as the leaders have screwed away by a couple of car lengths here. That is Watkins, Hayden, and Eldred. Here comes Matt Hayden. How many times have these two shared a battle in this series? Hayden against Watkins again. Shades of Homestead 2025. These two going at it. They'll do it again here tonight in Michigan. Eldred right behind them. Modesty and Little continue to battle for the 4th spot. Andrew Little, I think, is going to win that battle here off turn 2. By the way, Patti got back around Beauchamp. He's up to 7th, or rather 8th. Clinton Woodby shot forward to 6th on that restart. Two laps from halfway. Eldred, nice drive off the wall, trying to get back to Matt Hayden and take 2nd. Is the old school coin Chevrolet. Lap 49 on the board. Just 1 lap short of halfway here at the line. And Hayden continuing to try to keep up. Woodby has put some pressure on Andrew Little and Rusty Modesty, by the way. That would get him up to 4th if he could get a couple spots there. Then it's Bourbonnier, and then it's Ryan Patti, who continues to run in that 8th spot. It's actually losing time to the leaders here, so Not sure what the deal is for Ryan Patti in the 30, but he has lost some pace here in the mid stages of this race. Watkins having to fight off a charge from Matt Hayden, who again renews his efforts to get to the race lead, as does Cody Eldred. And again, Eldred is a guy to watch. Watkins has won this season. Matt Hayden's won in this series before, a couple of times last year. Cody Eldred is yet to take the trip to Challenger Cup Series victory lane, and in a night like tonight where he could really put himself in a championship position if he leaves with a good enough day. Again, coming into tonight, Eldred was 4th in points and only 26 back of Ryan Patti. He could put himself in position to be a championship contender headed forward from this one into next week's race at the Pocono Raceway. So if Eldred can make it happen here, it certainly pay off for him in a big way. Matt Hayden puts the immediate pressure on the leader. Here comes the 5. Just a little bit there on exit of 4. Eldred will get to him. Will he try to make the pass, or will he opt to push and stay in line? They'll choose option 2 for the time being. Back to turn 1, just over halfway at Michigan. Another shot at the bottom from Hayden. Again, looking to grab a little bit of right rear side draft. He might just do it here off 2. Trying to get a good drive off the corner is Hayden. He'll have to file back in line. A tight gap there as he gets in front of Eldred, who will opt to push him here down the backstretch and again get him close to where he can take a run on Watkins into 3. This time, alongside, down to the paint, trying to arc the corner. He'll come up and try to grab some side draft. Battle for the lead in Michigan. Matt Hayden on the inside, trying to win for the first time since that plate race in Talladega last October. Eldred in the popcorn seat. 48 to go. This time by Eldred will go to the rail. Watkins ran low a little bit. He has to move up his corner entry just a tad. That allows Hayden to arc the bottom. Hayden, big lift there off turn 2, though. He'll lose a ton of time. Mike Martino's had a problem out back of the field, and Hayden's going to lose 2 for 1. Loses the battle for the lead, then loses second. And Modesty and Woodby have entered the fray here. Everybody really bottom feeding here, including Watkins. Eldred decides to get that rail run again. Here comes Cody Eldred. Is tonight finally the night? 47 to go. It's past halfway, still a ways to go. But Cody Eldred's been mighty fast as the run goes on. This time Watkins aero blocks, but did he get too much? Caution flag is out no matter what, as Mike Martino's had another problem in the 75. Not particularly sure, I guess. Caution flags because he stopped on track, but oh yeah, big spin through the grass. Big hit from Martino. He spins like a top. Then knocks the outside wall as well. A big crash for Mike Martino. So again, he got sideways over here on the apron of turn 1. Look at this hit here as he caught the left sides in the grass. Watch this hit the inside wall. And then the one to the outside wall. Big hits there for Martino, and our 4th caution of the night is on the racetrack just past the halfway point. Watkins continues to lead over Eldred, Hayden, Modesty, and Clinton Woodby. Most everyone will come to pit road here. In fact, it does look like it's going to be everyone in the field, save for Fisher Graham, who's going to stay out and lead a lap here. It looks like Ron Walters is also going to stay out. That'll keep Brian Cunningham from getting the wave around. So Fisher Graham stays out under this, the fourth caution of the night. Ron Walters does as well. And then a bevy of different pit strategies here. Clinton Woodby actually wins the race off pit road ahead of Andrew Little, James Catrone, Kevin Gunther, and Jimmy Fitzmaurice, and Ryan Patti, who has jumped Harold Watkins on pit road. Watkins, Hayden, Eldred, Rasick, and the rest of the cars on pit road opting to go, I believe, with tires there. Most everybody else opting to go with fuel only. So split strategy on pit road and off pit road, including the guys that stayed out here, Graham and Walters. So this restart, it could get very wild. Again, remember, Ryan Patti is without a fast repair at this point in the race. Keep that in mind if he is to get involved in another incident. If chaos strikes here, Ryan Patti, this could flip the entire championship battle on its head, really for the first time in a long time this season. So Fisher Graham will lead the field back to green. First laps he's led in his career, I believe. Could be wrong. Might have led on a pit cycle last week in Nashville. Ron Walters will restart from second, and then again it's Woodby and Little, and the pit strategies are all over the place here. So we'll see how this works out. The guys that stayed out and the guys that opted to go with a different pit strategy there on pit road that actually came and made a stop. So we'll see how it pans out for these guys and how chaotic this thing gets as we reach the later stages. Just 43 to go. It'll be 42 to go at the line. We're now into the close to the closing stages here. 60% fuel load on board these cars. Still expect a green flag pit stop if this thing continues on green from here, although we have had a few stoppages here in stage 2. So another one clean off the racetrack. These guys will look to get into a run and get this thing to its conclusion. Just again 42 laps to go. The field's been shuffled. This one's going to get interesting. How will the leaders further back in traffic now pan out? Will chaos take over? Will the leaders drive back to the lead? Will they be able to get back to where they were? A pair of newcomers to the front row, Graham and Ron Walters. Green flag back in the air. Does anybody go to turn 1? Graham didn't fire very well. Neither did Walters on the outside. It stacked both lanes up. Out back, one car to the outside, 3 wide. That's Beauchamp. One car to the outside up front. Little to the safer barrier. He wants multiple spots here in turn 1. He'll drive deeper than Ron Walters does. They may very well be 4 wide. That's around Ryan Patti. Got to be careful if you're the Fast House Chevy here off turn 2. He slides up, trouble. Walters gets turned by Gunther. That's going to draw another caution flag. Walters able to keep it out of traffic as the scramble happened up front there on the restart. Clinton Woodby away with the lead. And the running order is everywhere here as the 5th caution's out. And we'll go back and take a look at it. Ron Walters up across the bumper of Kevin Gunther. We're only going to probably take one look at this. As off turn 2, Walters battling Gunther. He was already falling back, and then, man, what happened there? Is it a netcode moment? Man, that's a weird look. It almost looks like a bit of shotgun netcode between Ryan Patti and Ron Walters. You may be saying, well, they weren't near each other at all. Well, they weren't, but again, that's the only thing I can think of. We'll go back and try to find a different angle, but let's see here. This will tell us quite a bit. Let's go to the chase camera. Watch up ahead. Watch Patty's car come across the nose of Walters here in terms of the aero wash. And let's see, does this snap this car to the right? Yeah, it's shotgun netcode. You see Patty's car bounced as well. It reacted. Those two were nowhere near each other and still registered contact. And for Walters, that's unfortunate. It shoots him to the right. Nowhere for Kevin Gunther to go either. And lucky enough that this wasn't bigger than it was. As Walters, by the time he started sliding back down the field, it was so packed up together they were all able to get by. Rasick and Cunningham dived to the inside. So, man, shotgun netcode there. That's so unfortunate for the guys involved. Gunther, Eldred, Walters, Martino all going to take trips to pit road under the 5th caution of the night. Man, what a tough break. The guys involved in that one. So now we'll reset the field again. Clinton Woodby is your leader over Fisher Graham. James Catrone is 3rd. Andrew Little is 4th. Ryan Patti is back up to 5th. Matt Aiden is 6th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice is 7th. Rusty Modesty is 8th. Harold Watkins 9th. Brandon Beauchamp runs 10th. Only car of the leaders to come down and take any service there was Cody Eldred, who opts to come to pit road once more. So, 5th caution of the night, working on getting cleaned up. As Clinton Woodby continues to lead the way. Again, remaining schedule from here, a trip to Pocono next week, 80 laps the Tricky Triangle. Then a trip to Twin Ring Motegi. As of now, that is still scheduled as Twin Ring Motegi. If it changes to San Diego, we'll let you know. I heard some conversations today. I think that race is going to stay at Twin Ring Motegi. And then Sonoma will wrap us up on June 30th with a championship race. No breaks, by the way. We'll go right to Chicagoland the next week on July 7th. That's the rest of the Season 1 schedule. Points coming into tonight. Ryan Patti had a 23-point lead on Andrew Little, 25-point lead on Harold Watkins, a 26-point lead on Cody Eldred, a 30-point lead on Greg Bourbonier, a 36-point lead on both James Catrone and Matt Hayden, a 38-point lead on Clinton Woodby, a 40-point lead on David Traylor, which, by the way, that lead is going to grow exponentially now, and a 42-point lead over Rusty Modesty. So Patti well clear of the rest of the field. Again, as of right now, a lot still to happen tonight. Again, reminder, he does not have his fast repair. He's already utilized it, as far as I know, on the damage that he received on one of the opening crashes of the night. So Clinton Woodby will lead us back to green. That restart was chaotic as it gets. Again, with guys up front on no tires and old tires and all kinds of different strategies going on there. And I expect this one to be more of the same. Again, Ryan Patti runs 5th. Andrew Little 4th, Matt Hayden 6th. They've got cars to get around here. They want to get back to the lead. Harold Watkins is 9th. I expect him to be on the move. I expect Cody Eldred to be on the move too. As he came to pit road, I wonder if he had some damage to address, because he's trailing behind the field here. Not sure where he would have gotten that damage. I did not see him get a part of that Ryan Patti incident, but perhaps some damage from earlier in the race he has chosen to address here on lap 61. 39 to go at the line. Again, we are into the closing stages now of this race. Woodby, Graham, Little, Catrone, Patti, your top 5. Patti looking to extend the points lead. A couple guys looking for big upset victories, including the rookie Fisher Graham outside of row 1. Coming back to the green flag. 5th caution cleaned off the racetrack. Green flag back in the air. 39 to go. Woodby goes. Graham does not. He's going to hold up that outside lane for just a moment. Catrone drives forward to 2nd. Patti drives forward to at least 4th. He might get 3rd by the time they go to turn 1. Little down underneath Graham. Patti through the center. Here comes the Fast House Chevy. Big move to the middle for the points leader. Catrone clears him. Patti will try to cross over here off turn 2. Graham able to clear in front of Andrew Little. Here's Patti for 2nd. Watkins, meanwhile, in a hornet's nest. Thought about 3 wide down to turn 3. Catrone blocks Patti back to the corner. Patti has to drive in the tire tracks, trying to get to the right rear. Is the Fast House Chevy. Contact between 2nd and 3rd. 3 wide, further back. Little through the center. Hayden on the bottom. Graham up top side. Welcome to Challenger Cup Series Racing to the rookie Fisher Graham as Little and Hayden take no prisoners there to turn 1. Patti drives in hard on the door of James Catrone. That's going to allow him potentially to steal away that 2nd spot by the time they reach the exit of turn 2 and work onto the back straightaway. Little is forward to 4th. Hayden is forward to 5th. Watkins is forward to 7th. And then Eldred is lodged all the way back in 15th. Battle for 2nd continues. Catrone on the inside of Patti. As Woodby drives away with the lead for the time being. Hayden trying to shoot on Andrew Little. Watkins is all the way to 6th. Battle for 2nd continues. Back to turn 1. 37 to go. Clinton Woodby looking for his first win since Talladega in April. Swept the plate tracks, the pure plate tracks. Contact again. Catrone and Patti. Catrone doors him down the back straightaway. A little bit of tempers flaring here on the backstretch, but all cool heads are going to prevail when they work back down to turn 3. You don't want to put yourself in that position if you're either of those drivers, knowing you're in contention for a championship. Also, by the way, you got business to attend to. Woodby's driving away here, so as long as these two stay side by side, it's going to be hard for those two to catch the race leader. Watkins on Hayden. That is for the 5th spot as the 3 tries to run down Ryan Patti before he gets back to the race lead. By the way, Cody Eldred's up to 14th. We'll keep an eye on him as he again came to address what we think to be some damage from earlier in the race on that last caution flag. Would-be continues to lead, but this lead is dwindling here down to only 0.3 of a second. Harold Watkins got to 5th over Matt Hayden. Now looks for 4th on Andrew Little. Again, Eldred's the car I'm watching. He's up to 13th and still trying to roll here, trying to get a couple of more spots to get in contention for the win. 35 to go in the Irish Hills. Would-be by 5 car lengths over Ryan Patti. Then it's Catrone. Then it's a battle for 4th. Watkins to the inside of Andrew Little. The Hurricane is on the move. With 35 to go, Matt Hayden trying to make it 2 for 1 on Andrew Little. He's trying to stay in contention for this thing as well. Modesty in the popcorn seat there as Fitzmaurice, Rasick, and Rothery round out the top 10 for now. Eldred dropped a couple of spots. He's again back to 15th. He's not been able to get back into contention for this one. He'll likely need the help of a caution or to really start picking up some spots quickly. He's already 3 seconds back in the lead. Would-be down to break draft. Now back up to the outside wall. Patti follows him all the way. 2.5 tenths the difference. 34 to go with the line. Again, I think these guys are still going to have to pit. Would-be tries to aero block the top side. Patti sticks the headlight out. Can he get back to the throttle quicker here off turn 2? The answer, yes, he can. He's 2 tenths back here down the back straightaway. Would-be to the apron trying to break the draft. It's going to help Ryan Patti and the cars behind them, by the way. Catrone and company as they work into this thing as well. Hayden did get 2 for 1, so he follows Watkins through. Watkins to the inside of Catrone now. That is for 3rd as Patti runs down the race leader. Modesty's run down Little. That's for 6th. Back to turn 1. Big slide on entry for Patti as he drives the wheels off that thing trying to get to Clinton Would-be. 33 to go at the line, top 4. Under a blanket, Watkins to the inside of Catrone. He'll actually get some help with the toe as they work back to turn 3. We'll keep an eye here for just the slightest moment as Watkins is to the inside for 3rd. Again, like he did for the 5th spot, Hayden will try to follow through. Watkins, can he clear up here off turn 4? Power move, the answer is yes. Eldred is up to 14th, but again continues to lose time in an absolute hornet's nest. Back in the Kevin Gunther neighborhood. Now he's back up to 13th. Got to get a little closer than that, knowing that some of the differences in the draft here. Patti shoots on Would-be. That's in turn 1. Would-be to the inside, trying to break draft. He'll do so here down the back straightaway. And back to turn 3 they go as Watkins closes in. Harold Watkins is hoping that Would-be can keep Ryan Patti held up for a moment here. 31 to go, lap 70 on the board at the line. Matt Hayden trying to get 4th from Catrone, trying to follow Harold Watkins to the front. Meanwhile, Eldred, a moment of calm back around where he is as he works on Greg Bourbonier for 12th. He's got a couple of cars right in front of him he can make the pass on here. He'll be back up to the 11th spot here momentarily. Would-be chased down the backstretch again to the apron. Patti follows him a lane off the racetrack. And Watkins is there. A classic brewing in the Irish Hills. Patti works 3, 4 lanes up the racetrack. Watkins down to the paint. Would-be down the bottom. Patti got the wall. Watkins is alongside. Harold Watkins gets 2nd. Patti makes a mistake. But can he hang alongside him? No. Battle for 2nd will continue back to turn 1. 30 to go. Would-be watches it all happen in the rearview mirror. Catrone is still holding up Matt Hayden. Actually, he's in this fight almost for that spot, but now here comes Hayden, a big crossover move there in turn 1. Can he get to the inside of Catrone? He can. He'll hang there back to turn number 3. Can he dive it in on Catrone and potentially get a spot? No, Catrone defends well. Hayden works down. Patti's on the apron. They're in turns 3 and 4. Trying something different. It's the 2nd place car. Would-be continues to lead. Got help there, did Hayden there as the line worked down the apron. That actually helps the Oakley Chevy get a little bit of toe and hang alongside Catrone as this fight continues for 4th. Hayden may try to slide up here on exit. It's going to be awfully close to whether or not he has it. And actually, no, it's not. Catrone, big drive off turn 2, and Hayden will have to settle to jump in behind and now be attacked by Rusty Modesty down the backstretch. Eldred up to 12th. He's working on Harold Rothery for the 11th spot. But some work to be done for the 14 if he's going to get back in contention for this. Back up front, 28 laps to go, and swinging back and forth is Would-be as he tries to break the draft. Watkins, big dive to the inside of turn 1. Would-be down to aero block. drive through the center. Can Watkins get any exit speed? Not quite. Would be able to keep his foot in it. And down to the apron he goes. Watkins chooses not to chase. Patti will stay up as well. Both those cars staying in line for the time being. Tell you what, for Cody Eldred, it may not matter without a caution flag here. He's not going to be in draft range by the time he gets to Steven Rasick. They have lost the tail end of Andrew Little's car, the last car in line in this lead pack. So for now, Eldred's shot to win is over. Big drive to the bottom for the race lead in turn 1. Watkins trying to get to the left rear of Clinton Woodby. He's had enough. Woodby gets the wall. Watkins has to lift. Where does Patti go in all this? He decides to go to the bottom. He thought about 3 wide. He has to jump in the binders, and here comes James Catrone. And all of a sudden, a 3-car battle for the lead has become a 6-car battle for the lead. Woodby on the outside trying to play defense, can't do it. Patti's going to get a nice rim run. Blocks Hayden all the way to the grass. Hayden to the apron. That's her 4th, all behind the leader. Watkins, by the way, did get the lead, but Woodby's not done yet. Where does he go here in turn 1? Tries to go high. Watkins says no, sir. Blocks that off. Here back to turn 2. Watkins starts to drive away as the mess happens behind him. Hey, Patti's got front end damage from running into the back of the Harold Watkins machine as they worked off turn 2, so I have to see how bad that damage is that he has sustained. Would be trying to stay in the fight. And he is going to stay in the fight here off turn 4. Here he comes again, ratcheting up another challenge for the race lead. 25 more circuits around Michigan International Speedway as Harold Watkins continues to lead, looking for win number 3 on the season. Would be up to rail run. Don't think he's going to have the momentum on exit. He's way up high. May have gotten a little too high. He'll get a nice rim run, but it's just going to put him a little bit too far back to make any moves here into turn 3. Matt Hayden continues to hold off Ryan Patti. Actually will lean to the outside of James Catrone here as well. Through into turn 3 they go. That's the battle for 3rd behind the leaders. Would be another good 3 and 4. He's been so good trouble. Caution's out. Eldred has a lifeline. And now what do you do? If you're one of the leaders, what do you do? Not exactly sure what this yellow's for. It might be for the Fisher-Graham car. And no, he was on pit road. Might be for the Harold Rothery car, and it is for the Rothery machine. So let's go back and see what happens here. This is back around the Gunther Beauchamp Bourbonnier area. Ooh, Gunther got an offset push to Rothery. It appears that keeps everything safe. And back to turn 3, Bourbonnier coming up the racetrack. Rothery coming down. They meet in the center, and around goes the 1. Single car spin, comes back up, pancakes the wall, and brings out the caution. We go back up front because I want to capture this pit cycle. As here we go to pit road for what could be the money stop. Inside of 25 to go. Who does what? Mr. Graham's going to stay out. He is 1 lap down. Everyone on the lead lap is on pit road. And what do you do when you get to the pit box? Hayden into his box. Little, Woodby, Catrone, all the leaders pulling to their pit stalls. And a reminder, I don't think Ryan Patti has a fast repair here. We'll see if he chooses to address the damage. Rasick goes fuel only. He's going to come off with the lead more than likely. Everybody else goes 4. No, Watkins 2, Bourbonnier 2, Hayden 2. Most everybody else went 4, and that includes Catrone, Woodby, Little, Modesty. There's Eldred, and the rest of the field. I think Watkins and Rasick may have been the only ones to go 2 there. Hayden and Bourbonnier actually did as well. So 4 cars, to me, it looked like went with 2. Everybody else decides to go with 4. So all of a sudden, Steven Rasick is your leader late in the going here at Michigan. He has not yet won a Challenger Cup Series race. So another guy looking for win number 1 goes to the lead here late. Watkins, Hayden, Bourbonnier, Catrone, Woodby, Little, Modesty, Eldred, and Gunther round out the top 10. We'll go back to green here with just over 20 laps to go. In fact, 21 laps to go at Michigan. 6th caution going to be cleaned off the speedway. Rasick and Watkins will restart on the front row. And again, Ryan Patti now will restart back around the 13th position. In fact, he'll line up 14th. The other car to watch here is Cody Eldred. He'll line up 9th on this restart. He is on 4 tires, and I think has the best long-run car. The problem is we're not going to have a long run. He's been one of the best off the top side of the racetrack, so we'll see if he can take advantage, get back into contention here late in the going. Stephen Rasick, this would be a heck of a win for him if he could pull this one off. Watkins looking for another win this season. Hayden looking for win number 1 this season. Bourbonier, Catrone both looking for career win number 1. So many storylines late in the going. Green flag, Rasick jumps it off to the races. Watkins timed it up decent back to turn 1. I don't know if he'll hang to the outside or not. Rasick may have to drive deep into turn 1. Almost contact. Hayden and Bourbonier almost come together. Rasick works up the hill, but he'll get beat off the punch by Harold Watkins, who'll go back to the lead off turn 2. 3 wide behind him. Couple of cars out of shape. That was back around Modesty and Hayden. Everybody keeps it together. 4 wide for a moment. Little Modesty, Hayden, Woodby were 4 abreast into turn 3. And they fan out all across the racetrack, 3 and 4 wide. Patti rim rides around Kevin Gunther. Fitzmaurice on the bottom. Cars are everywhere, and Watkins jumps to the lead. 20 to go at the line. Very well may have been the money stop. James Catrone has put himself in contention late. Hayden trying to recover from the moment he had a moment ago. He drives right to the bottom of the racetrack. Rasick trying to hold on for dear life to the spot that he's got right now. Patti on the move. Eldred trying to get on the move. Further back, trouble. Little gets turned. Will it draw the caution? It will. Little comes back up. Watch out as the field comes on, and Ron Walters plows in. Another car is involved in front of them. That's Harold Rothery. And a playoff driver is in trouble late at Michigan. It's the Waterford native, Andrew Little, who gets turned going down the back straightaway and draws another caution flag inside of 20 laps to go. Go back and take a look against this Rusty Modesty racing alongside Little. I think it's going to be a lot of the same of what we saw a moment ago. Again, meeting in the center. You see Modesty coming up, Little coming down. And just not much that Andrew Little can do. And then he comes back up. He thinks he's going to be okay. Maybe just get the wall. And Ron Walters, again, commits the wrong lane and gets into Little's right side there. So we'll have to see the extent of any suspension damage there on Andrew Little's car. He got turned by Modesty. Back up he comes. Tough break for Walters there as he's in another one. Not of his doing. 7th caution of the night. On the speedway, we had none in stage 1. Since then, 6 incidents here in stage 2 have drawn things to a halt again. Just inside of 20 laps to go. It will be about 16 to go when we get back green in just a couple of moments. So Harold Watkins continues to lead over now. James Catrone. Then it's Stephen Rasick, Greg Bourbonier, and Rusty Modesty, the rest of the top 5. Then it's Hayden, Woodby, Eldred, Patti, and Fitzmaurice. The pack grouped up like this, again, it's not impossible to make up spots on the restart. And again, I'm curious, you know, a couple of these guys can get a couple of more spots. You know, James Catrone was sporty in practice earlier, and at times has had really good short-run speed in this race. Matt Hayden has been good all race. Clinton Woodby has had moments in this race. Cody Eldred's been fast. Ryan Patti's been fast. So a number of cars I think are good enough to contend for the win. And in a short run at Michigan, again, you can make a lot. You can make a lot happen and have a lot be forgiven, if you will, in a short run at Michigan that you can't do at other tracks. It just burns your stuff up too much at Michigan. As we've now entered kind of into this short run ending to this race, you can really lay it all on the line to try to get to victory lane. And, you know, again, for a couple of guys in the field, this could be a huge points night, potentially in putting themselves in championship position. I mean, Ryan Patti, as of now, still runs 8th. He did not gain anything on that last restart. Gained maybe a couple spots. But again, continues to restart 8th and is in the danger zone for if something happens, you know, he could be out of this race and all of a sudden the points could be blown wide open. Again, for a guy like James Catrone, what a win this would be for him. Greg Bourbonnier, Stephen Racek, career win number 1. Bourbonnier, Catrone, this would be career win number 1 for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in this race tonight. And same for 7th place Cody Eldred, who's the guy I'm definitely watching on this restart. Again, I think, compared to the Watkins and Patties, Eldred's the best car of those guys. It's not those top 2 cars that have run together all night. I think Eldred's 3rd best, if not better. So for him to restart 7th here, he's not out of this thing yet. Of course, Ryan Patti, we know what he brings to the table. Clinton would be looking to win off of a super speedway for the first time this year and vault himself into that conversation. Jimmy Fitzmaurice, a feel-good win if he could get to victory lane. Kevin Gunther hasn't won since Bristol. A number of really great storylines here. Of course, Harold Watkins, a Michigan native, would be such a cool win for him to win in his home state. But same for Andrew Little. If he could get back into this one, he'll need a bit of a miracle. A number of such great storylines here at the front of the field, though, and with the way the racing's been tonight, there's really no way to tell what's going to happen. The draft is the great equalizer. It's been the great equalizer tonight, and it will likely factor into the ending of this race. So again, 16 to go with the line. We're in the very, very late stages of this one. Where a couple more cautions. We're talking about 5 laps to go restart. We saw how crazy the last restart got. How crazy will this one get? My eyes are on Ryan Patti, Matt Hayden, Cody Eldred. Cars back around that 5th, 6th, 7th position to make something happen and try to get to Harold Watkins here. It's been a pretty good night for Watkins. This is his type of track. A 2-miler, an intermediate. This is the type of track that he performs very well on. We'll see if he can complete the win here. 16 more circuits around Michigan. Who gets the job done in the Irish Hills? Green flag. Watkins off to the races. Great start for the 3. And he's off and running. And now, who's the best of the rest that will try to challenge him? Patti looked 3 wide for a moment around the Woodby car. Woodby crosses over and actually goes to the bottom. Patti around the outside of Racek. They split him big time there in turn 1. Catrone away with 2nd, Bourbonnier away with 3rd. As a couple of cars got caught up, that includes Cody Eldred. Hayden alongside Patti, who's all of a sudden up to the 5th position. Look out! Here comes the points leader. He wants win number 8. Meanwhile, further back, Woodby is on the run here. The 92 is sporty. Here comes Catrone for the lead. 15 to go. Watkins trying to keep the lead. James Catrone sees win number 1. So does Greg Bourbonnier. Trouble there for a moment, but we're back. Woodby, big dive into turn 1. Across the nose of Bourbonnier, has to lift out of it. And Bourbonnier back to his outside. Catrone, that's not helping him as those cars drop way off the pace. Ryan Patti trying to look for somewhere to go. He'll go to the rail. No, he'll go to the center. Eldred's up to 7th. Cody Eldred's on the run. Catrone, another deep drive to turn 3 and 4. Almost trouble as Patti and Bourbonnier come together. Hayden's going to split between them. Patti kept the momentum up, but now Matt Hayden's on his back bumper. They're 4th and 5th back to turn 1. Catrone in the tire tracks of Harold Watkins. Catrone's so close in Kansas and Bristol last year to get to victory lane. Tonight, he wants a trip to Challenger Cup Series victory lane. Cody Eldred's on the move now. He tries to get 6th from Bourbonnier. 14 to go. Woodby on his horse. Almost to the apron. Eldred went too high there. He's going to lose quite a bit of time. He'll get the wall here off turn 4 and have to regroup. 13 to go at the line. Watkins driving away just the slightest bit. To the rail goes Woodby and Ryan Patti. Woodby's got a rocket ship on the short run, but he's got to get around the Catrone machine. Because Watkins continues to put a buffer now, and it may be all she wrote here before long if those cars can't get around, can't figure it out, and get to the back of the 3. To the back, Eldred continues to lose spots. Not sure what's going on the 14 machine. He just lost one to Gunther there, and he's all the way back to 8th now. 12 laps to go. Catrone trying to wind up for another shot, but Ryan Patti challenges him to turn 1. He got around Woodby. The points leader wants more. Matt Hayden wants more. Matt Hayden's not out of this thing yet in the 5 car. Remember how his chase started last week? It did not go the way that he had planned. And he wants the 4th spot from Clinton Woodby here in turn 3. He's not out of this thing yet. 11 to go at the line. Patty's not been able to get close enough to James Catrone to really help him out and get him back to Harold Watkins to launch another attack. Back to turn 1, 11 laps to go. Next time by it'll be 10. Again, Matt Hayden's up to 4th. Bourbonier hanging, waiting in the wings. If something were to happen to one of these top 5, Kevin Gunther drives into the fight now. He'll bring Eldred and the returning Andrew Little with him, but is there enough time? Back to turn 3. Catrone sticks the headlight left. Tries to get a big drive through the center. Gets the big drive through the center. And right to the back bumper. James Catrone, 10 more times around Michigan. Ryan Patti looms. So does Matt Hayden. Neither car out of it. They're both still in the draft. Back to turn 1. Catrone again, the headlight left. Trying to drive deep to turn 1. Big lift as the aero block in effect for Harold Watkins there. So good defensively is Watkins. Patti, does he choose to help Catrone or does he go for the spot himself? He'll stay in line and give Catrone a little boost here to turn 3. This time Watkins down to the paint. Catrone will have to lift. Patti arcs it and may get second here by the time they get off turn 4. He'll try for it. He's got to go quick. 9 laps to go. Hayden will follow him. Back to turn 1. If Patti gets clear, it is game on for the win in the Irish Hills, and he will. Slide job on Catrone. Catrone hangs on his right rear, but Patti slams the door shut anyway. And now that's going to allow Matt Hayden potentially to get here to P3. Oh, man. It's shaping up for 3 of the best cars to go to war for the win in Michigan. Hayden trying everything he can to clear up. He's a 10th clear. He'll get it. Catrone will cross over. Matt Hayden trying to throw the block, and he will successfully do so, at least for the time being here. Back to turn 1. Ryan Patti, 8 laps to go, and the points leader, against all odds, crashed. Pit road penalties. Back to fix more front-end damage, and he's in contention for the win with 8 laps to go. Cody Eldred's fallen off the pace. By the way, he's behind the Bourbonier and Gunther battle that goes on for 6th. As back to turn 1 they go, and if these two get side by side, and they might here in turn 3, Matt Hayden is going to be in the best position to capitalize and potentially go to victory lane himself. 7 laps to go. Back and forth, Watkins trying to break the trap. Back to turn 1. Patti stuck 2 tires on the apron there. I was a little bit confused at the approach into turn 1. For Ryan Patti, but he'll arc it here off turn 2, and he'll get a big drive down this long back straightaway and be right back in the fight headed for turn 3. And Matt Hayden is not far behind. Again, a long way to go in this race. That time a little bit of aero blocking there by Harold Watkins. Going to force a lift out of Ryan Patti. Tries to stick his foot in it. Actually was able to keep his foot in it. 6 laps to go. Here's Ryan Patti, a car length back at the line. Hayden, a car length off both of them. Rail run. Patti arcs it. Half a lane up, a full lane up. Got to get back in the throttle if you're Ryan Patti. He does here off turn 2. Meanwhile, Woodby trying to get 4th from Catrone. Back to turn 3. Patti's not been close enough to really establish a move. This time tries to put the headlights up, but Watkins is driving out of the rearview mirror and gets a nice turns 3 and 4 and defends well for now. 5 out the flag stand this time by. 5 laps to go. Patti's got to get a little bit more creative. If he wants to get around Harold Watkins, he goes higher this time. A lane up from where Watkins runs. Watkins deep into turn 1 on the entry. Patti trying to arc the corner, but has to lift and gets the wall. And is that all she wrote? Matt Hayden, if you're smart here, you help the 30. You don't try to pass him. It's going to jeopardize both of them. You got to do what you can to help him. Oh, now maybe with Patti on the apron again. Hayden may have no choice, but he will continue to help for now. Again, I think it'd be beneficial to both to push here. Try to get back to Harold Watkins and launch one final attack. 4 laps to go. Watkins has been nearly flawless on this run, defending against the points leader. He may have one more shot. Again, if Hayden continues to be beneficial to both of them, They may get one more look at it. But Patti continues to drive in the tire tracks of Harold Watkins. He's doing the same thing that he did, I think it was at Darlington. He was dipping the left side tires down below that dash line. It's just not working the same over there in turns 3 and 4. But this time he drives right to his back bumper. 3 to go. Game on. Patti goes way high there. A lane and a half difference. Hayden has to jump maybe in the binders just a little bit to let Patti run the line that he wants to. And Hayden's to the inside potentially for second. Again, that's not benefiting either of them. Be more beneficial to jump in and push. When they get back, it's 2 laps to go. Patti all the way on the apron. Now Hayden, I think, is going to have to go around him. I don't think you have a choice. He will continue to push. Well, tried to dive to the inside potentially. Big push here, by the way. This is going to be a nice little bump trap back to turn 1. But it's only 2 laps to go. Do they have enough time? Now 4/10 back. Now, did Watkins overcook turn 1, though? They're going to have one look at it. It's going to have to be a flawless 3 and 4 to get there, and if they do, they're going to have one look at it here. And if you're Patti, well, he drives to the bottom again. Again, that has not been working. It does not work again here, and that may be all she wrote. Off turn 4, they'll see the white flag this time by, and Harold Watkins can almost taste it. White flag is up. 1 lap to go at Michigan. Patti's going to have a really good 1 and 2 to even get close. I don't think he got a good enough arc off. It's going to be close, though. He got a really good exit. I don't think he's close enough. He's got a little bit of help from Matt Hayden. He'll get within 2/10. He'll have to send it here, drive it deep. He does. Tries to get to Watkins to move him. Drops the left sides on the apron. Patti, contact between the two. They both crash. Watkins spins. Patti spins. Who gets back to win the race? It's Watkins. Watkins wins anyway. In the most chaotic finish you will ever see. All the leaders crash. Patti finishes 5th, and Watkins wins it crashing. By a 1/10 of a second over Catrone, who almost threaded the needle for his first career win. I mean, the heartbreak factor for James Catrone, that is as brutal as it gets. Watkins will come around and get to do the burnout. For a moment, it looked as if Catrone had split the crash and won an improbable one here at Michigan. Instead, it's Watkins that will escape as a winner. 3rd win of the season, Harold Watkins gets the job done in Michigan, and can he even do a burnout? That car is destroyed. And the Hurricane will do the donuts on the front stretch. Well, certainly a lot to talk about here as we get into post-race coverage from the Michigan International Speedway. We'll talk to the top 3 and look at the results in a moment. Well, let's watch a replay of that white flag lap. I said that it would probably have to be perfect for Ryan Patti to even have a shot, and somehow, first of all, he sets this up with a really good turns 1 and 2. He drives in about a half lane up, pokes the headlight out, which is so important in this Gen 7 car, and gets a really good drive off the back straightaway. Gets a nice toe and sets up for this. I have no clue how this bottom lane sticks in turns 3 and 4. I knew they were probably going to make some contact here. Watkins obviously down to defend, as he should be. And I knew eventually about the midway point of the corner, although Patti gets a big lift. But when he turns this car onto the apron, suddenly it works. It had not worked really all run. And it sticks right there. And again, I've kind of figured they would make a little bit of contact here. That's a little bit more contact than I thought it was. Patti in the left rear of Watkins, and then you think, okay, maybe Patti's going to win, but then Watkins is going to collect the 30 in this. Then you think, okay, Matt Hayden's going to win. And Watkins overcorrects this car to the right. So Matt Hayden, you argue, probably should have won this race. He gets collected by Watkins. Now watch for the Oscar Mayer Chevy of Catrone to come in. The lead 3 cars crash, and Catrone, it was that close for Catrone to capture win number 1, and he actually vaults Watkins across the line. And that is your margin of victory right there. I mean, that's... Let's go back. Show you again this margin of victory. As Watkins comes across the line on the apron by that much over James Catrone. I wish we had a better camera there on the margin of victory, but we don't. Well, there's your margin of victory for Michigan, and not much else you can say, but wow. Harold Watkins by a 1/10 of a second over James Catrone, and quite possibly the most chaotic Challenger Cup Series finish we've seen to date. It's heartbreak for Catrone in second. You know he'll take a lot from this race points-wise, but what could have been tonight for the 38. Matt Hayden finishes third. Arguably could have won the race. Probably should have won the race. He finishes third. Clinton Woodby says, not sure where that finish came from, but I'll take it. He finishes fourth. Ryan Patti ends up fifth after that mess on the front stretch. Kevin Gunther, 6th. Greg Bourbonier, 7th. Cody Eldred, 8th. Andrew Little, 9th. And Rusty Modesty in 10th. Brandon Beauchamp, 11th. Jimmy Fitzmaurice in 12th. Stephen Rasick, 13th. Brian Cunningham, 14th. Harold Rothery in 15th. Fisher Graham in 16th. Ron Walters, 17th. And Mike Martino in the 18th position. Well, it's time to talk to the top 3. And I'd imagine they're all going to have some pretty interesting things to say in post-race coverage here. We'll begin with the man who actually finished this race in the 3rd position, and you argue should have won it. This could be a very entertaining interview, by the way. Just moments after that finish, Matt Hayden goes 3rd tonight in Michigan. You argue he should have won the race. It's 3rd for him. We'll see what he's got to say after a wild ending to this one in the Irish Hills. Matt, it's Dawson in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Dawson, I got you.
We were all set up to talk about the good runs of the points days, and then the finish happened. Coming off turn 4, take me through it. What'd you see out the nose of your race car there in a wild ending to this one?
Yeah, not quite sure. Obviously, I didn't react fast enough to what happened, but we're just going back watching the replay, and I don't think there was much. If I would have went down low, we would have got in it. If we went up high, obviously we got in it. So yeah, I don't know. I was surprised the 30 got so much of a run. It looked like he just kind of dove down. A couple of laps before that, he was getting the lefts on the apron. It looked like he was getting the car to rotate. So he just kind of looked like he'd check up speed. So yeah, I don't know. He got in there pretty hot and kind of pushed up. I think Harold said he may have gotten tight too. So I don't know, man. It was we were probably going to finish 3rd there anyway. So with all the issues we had with iRacing and the update, even getting into the race, yeah, we're happy.
Obviously, we move on from here now, and a couple of interesting tracks coming up. Pocono, though, is first up next week. You know, obviously a good points night for you tonight. Keeping up in the championship battle, what do you have to do next week in Pocono to close that gap even more?
Excited about Pocono. Pocono's always been kind of one of those tracks that either people are good there or they're not. And Pocono's on that list for me as a good track. So looking forward to it. I know a couple of these guys are going to be really strong too. So we just got to do better at qualifying, and obviously with the iRacing issue, we kept getting booted. Couldn't get in the garage to edit anything. Couldn't get in settings, mess with anything. Kept crashing us out. We missed grid. Started from pit. So had a bad qualifying right up until that anyway. So we're going to start in the back. Stage points. We just got to rack up as many free points as we can get, and not being there for stage is a huge miss for us tonight. So. Just gonna have to be strong, good qualifying, and try to stay up front and collect some points Pocono next week.
Well, P3 for you tonight in Michigan. Obviously, again, a good points day for you, and you gained some ground in the championship fight, and we'll try to continue on from here. Before we let you go and get ready for that race of the Tricky Triangle next week, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I want to thank everyone in the league, Misfit Motorsports as a team, not only in this league, but across some other leagues. Can't say enough about the group that we run with and everybody for putting this on. Dawson, you with the broadcast here, we really appreciate you putting this on. And obviously it's been exciting. Friends and family are already texting me about the race. So, appreciate you putting that on. I want to thank my son back here for watching, or not really watching because he's playing Roblox. I want to thank Laura out there for watching. I want to thank Denny Hamlin for all he does for me. Appreciate it, buddy. And just thank everyone out there for watching.
Matt, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the third place finish tonight. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you next week in Pocono.
Thanks, Dawson.
Matt Hayden in the 5. Third tonight in a melee at the end of tonight's race. It's a heartbreaker for James Catrone. It was almost win number 1. The Oscar Mayer Chevrolet. He comes up just a little bit short after that melee there, just short of the start-finish line. We'll get his thoughts on that. His takeaways from a good points day, and looking forward to Pocono, the driver of the 38. It's James Catrone, second tonight in Michigan. James, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, it almost pans out for you there on the front stretch. The 3 leaders crash right in front of you, and it comes up just a little bit short. Kind of take me through that from your perspective. Is there anything else you could have done to make it one spot better to come across the line with a victory?
Well, in hindsight, I guess I could have checked up a little and tried to get around Harold instead of just whacking him like that. But I was kind of watching Matt up by the wall, and he looked like he had it gathered up, so I knew I was really racing him. But he ended up spinning as well. If I kind of would have anticipated him spinning, I might have done it differently. But geez, it would have been close either way. Really can't complain about that.
Well, pretty good points night for you. Again, second place on the night. We're fast really all night. So, obviously not, the finish you wanted in terms of you could have made it one spot better, could have been in victory lane, and I understand that. But take me through the points night. What can you take away from Michigan here tonight? A second place finish, a good run. What are you taking away from it as we head to Pocono next week?
There is actually a lot of carryover here to Pocono in a way. Kind of similar to the way you get around in a way, even though they're very different tracks. But definitely I take away the tire wear isn't as important as track position, because at least I finished up this race with an extra set of tires because I kind of made a strategy call to get the track position. And geez, even with old tires, my car felt way faster on old tires with clean air than back in the pack. So my big learning experience there, and like I said, overall pretty happy with the night. Never really ran much better than the second, so I got to be pretty happy with a second place finish.
Well, we'll leave here and head to Pocono now. It is second for you tonight in Michigan. So before we let you go and get ready for the Tricky Triangle next week, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
I want to thank Rusty, Andrew, and Harold for doing the points. Everybody that puts on this league. I was supposed to be a little bit more of a help when we got started with this, but I really had to step away quite a bit. So I appreciate all they do. I appreciate all you do for the broadcast, and that's pretty much it.
Well, James, congrats on a second place finish tonight. Thanks for your time. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you in Pocono next week.
See you.
James Catrone, second tonight for him in Michigan. And now we'll talk to the man who is atop the leaderboard the third time here in 2026. It did not go as pretty as he probably wanted it to off turn 4 there, but nonetheless, Harold Watkins has just enough to get to victory lane again tonight in his home state of Michigan. We'll talk to him about the win moving forward from here. Get his thoughts on that last lap incident. Harold Watkins in victory lane once again in the Challenger Cup Series. Harold, it's Dawson, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how's it going, Dawson?
Well, not too bad. We were all set up to talk about what felt like a pretty much dominant win for you here in Michigan. We're pretty much the fastest car throughout tonight's race at all stages. And then the finish happens off turn 4. It's chaos. It looks like at one moment you're going to still win. Then it looks like you're not going to. Then you end up in victory lane anyway. Take me through it. What did you see from your perspective there in the melee off turn 4 and the race back to the start-finish line?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of opened it up. I did not get a good 1 and 2. He gave me the old good win jinx going in or taking the white flag. So, you know, that's always in the back of your mind when you hear that. Like, great, what's going to happen now? But then he sent it into Narnia in 3, which I don't blame him. Like, you could make that line stick, but he like got to which if you look at it, it's kind of weird. I don't know if it's like a net code thing or whatever, but we both get tight way before we ever should because he doesn't really get to my left rear. So like I got tight and couldn't drive off, and then he got tight and then shot up into me. Like I don't think he was trying to wreck me or anything. It was just one of those things where he was trying to win, and I mean I get that, and I just got lucky. I got lucky that my car wrecked to the right spot at the right time, and James was there to hit me across the line.
Well, it ends in another victory for you, although, again, not quite as pretty as I think you wanted it to be there off turn 4. You know, obviously now a win and a 5th place for Ryan Patti is going to put you in the conversation for a championship fight again here, defending your Season 2 championship last year. You know, kind of take me through what this night does for you confidence-wise headed forward to a track like Pocono next week.
Yeah, I mean, confidence-wise, it's great. I think I've really been gaining some momentum the last couple of weeks. I've been showing that I can stick with him and race with him at a lot of these tracks, and I haven't done the best job with fuel strategy. I've come up short twice when I shouldn't have. So, you know, I'm learning things. I feel like I'm right there. I'm getting back into the groove. I took a lot of time off coaching baseball and not really touching the sim, and that showed early on, but I'm starting to get back into the groove, and I think I can do something similar at Pocono that I did at Michigan. They kind of have like a similar craft, and Pocono's sort of like a road course, which I do pretty well on. So yeah, I think I can be competitive. I don't know that I can outlast him for a 5-race chase, but I'm gonna do my best to stick there right with him. Got within 2 points, and see what we can do.
Well, within 2 points, let's talk a little bit more specifically about Pocono. Again, we know the road course is coming as well in Sonoma. Of course, a win at Coda back in March for you. But, you know, going to Pocono next week, a place you finished second at last year as well. So, you know, heading into that one, what's the confidence level? What's the game plan next week to try to make it 2 in a row and put yourself in the points lead headed to Twin Ring Motegi?
Yeah, I mean, I got to qualify well. I think that's the thing at Pocono. You have to qualify well. You have to set yourself up well in the draft, and if you're up in like the top 2 or 3, you can battle for a win. If you're kind of sitting mid pack, you have to have some luck fall your way. So just gonna focus on qualifying laps, and then hope I can stick up there and just give myself a chance. I don't know. It's probably going to drive significantly different than it did last time. Last time we got the tire update, and tires didn't seem to matter. We'll see what happens this time around, and who knows what we'll do with the power. I mean, that always makes things more fun. A little bit of variety that we don't normally get in these cars.
Well, it's victory lane for you once again here in 2026. It is the second win of the season for you here. So before we let you go and get ready for Pocono, as you're back in the thick of the championship fight, rather, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to everyone at Challenger that makes this league run. There's a lot of people doing a lot of work to make this a really great league. Thanks to you up in the booth. Excited to hear the call. I'm sure it was nuts. So looking forward to that. And thanks to everyone out there watching. Thanks to everyone in the league. It's been really clean and really good racing this year. And just looking forward to racing this thing out.
Well, Harold, thanks for the time. Congrats on the win tonight in the Irish Hills of Michigan. Go enjoy it. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you next week in Pocono.
Thanks, Dawson.
Harold Watkins, winner tonight for Michigan. And, you know, again, my mind harkens back, and I should have thought about it in the moment, but my mind harkens back to a saying that Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds, Mike Joy used to use in the Fox booth for a long time, and it's, have you ever? No, I've never. And as we get ready to end things at Michigan, I find a way to say that in this series. I harken back to, last season, a couple of races. Charlotte, for example, which ironically, again, involved Harold Watkins. That finish comes to mind. And the Martinsville finish from this year comes to mind. The Atlanta finish from last year comes to mind. A number of crazy finishes come to mind. I think Martinsville is probably top of that list until tonight. This one probably now takes the cake as the craziest finish we've seen in this series. Again, 4 of the top 5 cars, 4 of the top 5 finishers involved in a crash off turn 4, in which all 4 still finish inside the top 5 despite being involved in that crash. And the winner is not even on the racing surface when he crosses the start-finish line. He's down on the Ally advertisement there in the infield, close to where Victory Lane is, there on the front stretch of Michigan, as we see in this image right here. So, that's where my mind takes me after a finish like that is, have you ever? No, I've never. And this series continues to pump out moments like that. And you heard Harold talk about it a moment ago. I was actually going to mention it here before we went off the air. A 2-point gap between Patti and Watkins. And again, you saw how tonight's race ended. 3 more weeks remain, and it's those 2 that have separated themselves now in a battle for the championship. They are 30 points clear of the rest of the field. So Patti and Watkins will head to Pocono to battle for the championship lead next Tuesday night. And what a classic that one should be. That's going to just about do it for us here tonight from Michigan. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage of tonight's race here in the Irish Hills. It was a fun one, to say the absolute least. Let's take it through the schedule for the week. I look forward to next week's Challenger action as well. Tomorrow night, it's the Moonshiners Racing League and its GMD Janitorial Cup Series here from the Irish Hills of Michigan. Check that one out on Precision Entertainment. Thursday night, the PGR Intimidator Super Speedway Series returns from its 1-week hiatus as it comes back for another race this week with the Next Gen Mini Championship Series that starts with Daytona on Thursday night. Check that one out. Friday night, the Midnight Racing League's Contender Series and a couple of other races going on. The McCullough Motorsports schedule continues as well throughout the week on PGR eSports. Also, next Monday night, it is the PGR Light Series, sponsored by SimRatMarket.com. The playoffs continue, the chase continues for the Light Series. The Atlanta race with the O'Reilly cars was a lot of fun to watch last night. Ended up being a strategy race. And then, of course, Next Gens at Talladega come up next Monday night. That one should be a lot of fun as well. Before we get to where we are next week, of course, we go to Pocono, but check out the Venom Truck Series, which could be still on the air with Michael Triscaro, as well as the Grindstone Developments Racing Series, as well with Austin Green. Those both on Tuesday nights. And then we're back next Tuesday from Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle at 8:30 p.m. here on PGR eSports Race 3, the midway point of the chase for the Challenger Cup in 2026. It's time to wrap things up for Michigan, and what a race it was. As crazy a race and as crazy a finish as we will ever see in this series ends with Harold Watkins, the Hurricane, on top of hurricane warning for Brooklyn, Michigan. Watkins' second win of the season brings him to within 2 points of Ryan Patti for the championship. You will not want to miss a moment of any of the last 3 races of this season. If you like what you saw tonight, hit the like button, give us a subscription. Come on over to PGR eSports. Big things coming. Get ready for the prep to the 2026 SummerSlam 499. By the way, that is just over the horizon, about a month and a half away from SummerSlam racing here in PGR eSports. Another crown jewel coming up. I cannot wait for that race week and the stuff that we've got planned. So stay on board. Stay with us here on PGR eSports. Cannot wait to have you back next Tuesday night as we continue the chase for the Challenger Cup. For now, that's it for us from Michigan. My name is Dawson Wise. You've been watching PGR eSports coverage of the Challenger Cup Series. Congratulations to Harold Watkins on a win and a chaotic finish at Michigan International Speedway. Hope to see you back with us next week. Hope you enjoyed so much the action tonight.